Warning, severe geomagnetic storm for the next 24 to 48 hours. How is this going to affect you? I will also be going live tomorrow from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be talking about psychic abilities and how you can enhance these. So if you haven't already and you want me on your For You page, make sure you're interacting with this video in some sort of way. You can like it, you can repost it, you can have a comment, you can save it, you can subscribe if you haven't already to my channel. We have a solar wind enhancement peaking at a period of 535 kilometers per hour. This is going to remain enhanced today and tomorrow. We have reached those G4 severe geomagnetic storm levels, reaching into those KP 8 and 9 solar wind enhancements from the continued CME influences. This severe geomagnetic storm is creating pressure on both sides of the planet, influencing through the magnetotail, and the bow shock is taking quite a hit. This geomagnetic storm is created from an M4.5 solar flare and also a strong X1.3 solar flare, producing an asymmetrical halo CME. Plasma density and speed remain at enhanced levels. This will be in effect for the next 24 to 48 hours as we get hit back to back with the bulk of this plasma ejecta from our sun. Our BZ dipped south for several hours and is continuously doing so. This is producing those G3 strong to G4 severe geomagnetic storm conditions. Now, this is going to happen for the next, yet again, 24 to 48 hours. You will see increased ascension symptoms, and there may be a possibility of seeing a beautiful aurora today. These conditions started yesterday. There were auroras seen overnight into the mid to high latitude positions. This is the aurora forecast for tonight. So if you are in those mid to high level latitude positions, there's a strong likelihood to see an aurora tonight. This is where we are with our geomagnetic storm currently. As you can see, we have strong connections over in Europe. Through tonight, we will see an increase. Currently, we are at those KP7 levels. We are bouncing back and forth between G2 to severe G4 magnetic conditions. And our 3-day geomagnetic forecast is predicting those severe storms to keep happening throughout the night today before dipping off on the 13th and finally into those quieter levels on the 14th. An 85% chance of seeing a aurora, the northern lights in the beautiful high latitude positions, 45% in those mid latitude positions. Always stay up to date with our space weather forecast because conditions can always change. Here's a look at our sun today. We have 12 active regions on our sun during the solar maximum. We are going to take a look at a couple of these, but I do want to note that 3777 set off 2 of these M-class flares. Also, 3780, another M-class flare from here. Let's take a look at 3777 right here. We're also going to take a look at 3780 right after. 3777 is heading off of the western limb of the sun, still growing in size. Although it does not have a delta configuration, it's only in beta and gamma, but it is heading off of the western limb. If it does erupt with this higher percentage of having an X-class flare, we may see some after effects from that. Also, the proton level at a 5%, if we have an eruption, we do have a slight chance of going into a solar radiation storm. This region is 3780. This is the largest region on the sun with 20 sunspots. Also, beta, delta, and gamma configuration. A 20% chance of having a strong X-class flare from this solar region. Now, the proton level, look at this, a 10%. So even a higher chance of slipping into those solar radiation storms, which could cause an effect on your human body. Let's take a look at one more region. We're going to look at 3784 right here. Now, this region is a little newer. It is in beta and delta, so it does not have a gamma configuration, making it a little bit less magnetically complex than the other ones. However, it is starting to grow in size. We have an increased chance of a 5% having an X-class flare from this region as well. And every single one of those regions that I mentioned is shooting off a little bit of something. We have those low-level C-class flares, we have those M-class flares, and the higher potential of having a strong X-class flare. And of course, those solar flares is what is the production of these geomagnetic storms. So it is very important that we are monitoring those active solar regions. Big geomagnetic storm, a lot of ascension symptoms, a lot of pressurized feelings that are going to be happening, a buildup, and you're going to be energized or extreme exhaustion because we are slipping into those severe conditions. Our density is also climbing, so you may be feeling physically heavy today, a little bit of weighted. Our moon today is trine Saturn. We also are in the first quarter moon in Scorpio energy. So we're going to reach the peak of this, or we have reached the peak of this late morning today. What does this mean? It means it's going to bring a lot of clarity. It's going to bring a lot of insights and a lot of transformation, which is a good thing because we need to go after things and we need to tackle them. We need the Scorpio energy to do that. So the first part of the day, you are going to feel pressurized. We had the geomagnetic storm hit us abruptly. You're going to feel this pressure cooker energy. Let me know in the comments if that's what you're getting. But anyway, this is going to help us become a little bit more vulnerable because later in the day, something brand new is coming up. This vulnerability is going to open ourselves up to a lot of the possibilities and the realizations that we need to move forward, which means epiphanies are going to be so plentiful today. So let's talk about the second part of the day because the second half is going to be different than the pressurized vulnerability that we're going through in the morning, okay? So the second part of the day, we're going to feel relief set in. Thank God, even though it's still pressurized from the geomagnetic storm, correct? Yes. But after all of these new discoveries, it's kind of like a deflated, like, okay, I have something on my plate, something to go towards. So there's going to be lighter emotions that are going to result from this. Although they're very powerful, don't mistake that. There's new limits and boundaries that you're creating for this newer reality, whatever it is. You need to set those intentions very clearly right now, and communication won't be super hard unless you're very affected by geomagnetic storm levels, which, can happen. Communications can kind of go south with that. But if we are doing a lot of visualization and we're creating these newer limits to help us push past. We're focusing on new changes that are going to help us ascend on a newer path. And remember, these are things that have to happen. These are things that need to happen. But baby steps are needed right now. They are very necessary because this is the new direction we're going in. We have to take something small, some sort of anything, honestly, any type of step, baby step, even like a nibble, whatever that you can produce from this, it's going to get the ball rolling. So today is a good day for that. Tomorrow's also a good day for that, especially as we're getting these DNA upgrades with the geostorm. So this is going to be stacked on top of each other. But remember, there's going to be relief released later in the day. And of course, with our sun in Leo, we are going to have that braveness, that courageousness to help push this through the whole month. Everything is going to have Leo energy surrounding it. So are you feeling the pressure cooker energies? Let me know in the comments what's going on with you. What baby steps are you taking? Now is the time, guys. Let me know. Love ya.